Hey, uh, welcome to another episode of First Impressions Review. Well, First Impressions Preview. I'm Kayla May, also known as Riobux. This is going to be a preview of Expedition Viking for by Logic Artists. Doing this for Bago Games. And you know what? I've kind of been really interested in this game for a while. I interviewed the developers back like 6 months ago at EGX Resd. Well, it was a case of EGX Resd. I did a recording, the recording corrupted, so I had to do a follow-up email to be like, oh yeah, things went a bit weird. So that interview is definitely worth checking out. I'm really happy with how that's gone, But anyway, I don't want to bore you to tears. Let me show you about Expedition Vikings. But I'm really interested about this game. Ooh. So, Expedition Viking is a turn-based RPG game. It's very much like it's the type where there's role-playing, definitely, but it's all like sorry, I'm rambling all over my words. It's an RPG game in the sense of you create a story. Like, it's very much the type where you create a story based on how you act and things like that. So I'm gonna make her medium because I'm boring. I mean, already I'm not. I could have done with the fact of being able to look closer to her face if I'm altering things like how she looks. I'm also not a fan of the fact that scarred just means that she's got some scars. That's all it means. Like, I would have liked the option to decide on what kinds of scars, but can't look a gift horse in the mouth. What kind of hair? I think I might make it just a single braid. Because the thing is I think she's going to be the type where she runs into combat, but yeah. What kind of sleeves? I mean, that's kind of unusual. The fact that you kind of decide on like, I've never seen it. Like, I've not really seen that, like, where you decide what her sleeves look like, but not the scars. I don't know. Might make it layered. Tightly wrapped. Oh, I see. So it's like, I could see loosely wrapped. And I'll go for that. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of how the skin colors look like these circles. I don't know. I'm nitpicking as hell, but that's because I kind of really like this game. In a way, like, I tried it out at EGX and I was kind of really impressed with it. Green's actually good. What's a good complement for green? Red. Yeah, I'll go for that. Okay, so this was something that was kind of unusual when I was interviewing the devs. Strength, endurance, fitness, and perception, exactly what that's all about, Strength, you hit things. Endurance, you take damage. Finesse, it's like dexterity, crit chance, that kind of thing. Perception, you spot things. and sense is like mental resistance. Although what I really also like is that these come into play in like combat scenarios as well. So I'm gonna try for something that's more finesse. I think one of the things that always kind of makes a bit unusual, and I'd be curious if this game is able to kind of get away from that problem, is that a lot of games have this kind of captivating green hairs and hair the color of fire. In fact, yeah, so that actually changes. Tough and keen. Gracious, keen, and wise. That's really good. I like that the description actually changes. But what I don't like in a lot of RPG games is the type where you get the option of charisma and things like that when talking to things. But the thing is because you're the only character who talks, it's there's tabletop RPG like roles, and this definitely comes into play in like Shadowrun, where you have one character who is basically the one character who basically shoots things really well, another character who is able to hit things really well and tank damage. You have a hacker, you have a rigger, but what's also a very important role, and also comes out in other RPG systems, is what's called a face, someone who can talk to things. And the thing is your character's the only one who is the face. And that always bugs me, it's because it always kind of leads to this situation where it's a lot better for you to be the face. But I think what's interesting, I'm noticing now, is that a lot of these give you options in dialogue. It's not just, I've got to throw everything I've got into sense, for instance. If, say, I have a high sense and a high strength, for instance, strength and sense will lend their own dialogue options. So I think that's really cool. As long as you don't disengage. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm kind of just trying to do a very quick kind of build because I want to show what this game is like, what kind of... Oh yeah, she's gonna go knifing. Because the problem is she's got very good finesse and very good perception. And I'm not that big the fan of bows because that leads to this kind of problem where enemies come up and then they stab me in the throat. That's a lot of skill points though, now I'm looking at it. I'm curious if you get any other skill points over time. Let's move really fast. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? It might be an idea if I pause the video and come back when I've built the character, and then I'll show you what I've built. Alright? So, see you in a bit. Hey, so, welcome back. So what I've decided to build was basically someone who can go around, stab people in the back, who gets bonuses for dual wielding. I have that for whatever reason. And who can craft and cook and can talk to people kind of well. Can run a little faster as well. Although I didn't get quick feet, which, considering that I'm, although I didn't get sneak attack either, so maybe I'll be fine. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it would be better if I actually... Hang on, did I... Yeah. Maybe it would be better if I got that instead. And an extra 2 points. Four. Is there anything for four? Yep. Let's go for that. That'll do. So yeah, so she's basically going to be running around with 2 daggers, stabbing people in the back, just trying to crit the hell out of people. I don't have more crit chance, so I don't know. Born Durin and Astrid in the year 1769 Julian calendar, with captivating green eyes and hair the color of fire. You've grown to be a gracious, keen, and wise woman. You are known amongst your clansmen as a fast and agile scout, who moves unseen behind enemy lines and strike where the defenses are weakest. So basically, I'm deceptive, you know. They say scout, but I'm reading less scout and more, how to put it, assassin. So, I don't know. You can assign any leftover skill points later. That's perfect. I love that, because the thing is, it's like, a lot of these skill points, they're like 3s and 4s and 5s and 6s. There's not, like, I've got 1 skill point left. I don't think there is a skill that only costs 1 point. So that's actually really useful that they're not chaining my hands to the radiator and saying, you gotta spend them all, otherwise that's wasted potential, you know. Anyway, let's leap in. I'll be quiet.
Your father was a great warrior and a good husband, but he was not a strong chieftain to his clan. As he travels to join his brothers in the halls of Valhalla, you must take his place. Our clan is beset by petty squabbles. Some amongst our people would contest your claim to leadership, as they sought discord our neighbors' plot against us. Gather your most trusted clansmen. Together you will face dangers which none can predict. You will be challenged on your leadership, your resolve, your wisdom. Build a ship and take your housecarls across the sea. Power and strength for our clan must be sought outside the Norselands. If you show yourself to be bold, the gods will follow you into battle. Your legacy will live for 1,000 years beyond your time. Our clan must prevail.
Alright. Yeah, so as you might have picked up from that intro video, you are a leader of a clan, and you, like, straight off the bat, and you've got to lead your clan to victory. And I think that's kind of really cool, like this idea that you're not just an adventurer, you're not just dealing with things immediate in front of your eyes. Aid me, Odin, in my effort to bind the struggles of a bygone time as glimmering light on glass. That's really cool. Yeah, it's not you're just dealing with things right in front of you. You're not just, say, looking at your, making sure that you're healed for the next battle. You're not just, making sure that you stay alive. You know, you've also got to deal with the longer term issues. You've got to deal with your clan. You've got to deal with how it advances, if it will prevail or if it will collapse over time. And I think that's really cool. I mean, the developers assured me that originally the previous game, Expeditions Conquistador, that part of building a town was very late into the game, and a lot of people was, you know, they really love that part, but it took a lot to get there. And this is more immediate, right out the set, and I kind of like that. Anyway, so when you close your eyes, the image of his blazing ship simmers in the dark behind your eyelids. It's not a common ritual this far south, but your mother Astrid, who hails from the land of the Gates, insisted on it. I'm sorry if I'm butchering words. Logic artists, I think. I'm trying to remember if they're Danish. I know they're Scandinavian. I'm certain of that. I'm pretty certain they're Danish. And I can already tell that they're probably cringing at my pronunciation, so I'm really sorry. All the things of the neighbouring clans have come to attend your feast in his honour. Your father may not have been the most successful Thane, but as a warrior he commanded the respect of many. I mean, I don't know what that word means. Leader? I'm assuming leader by context, but I don't know. I don't know, this is a personal thing, but I find it interesting that they've spelled honour with the English spelling. It's kind of nice when that happens, but I think that's the ethnocentric part of me. The guests are filing into your longhouse. The Fangs enter first, each trailing a modest group of warriors. Your mother leans in to whisper a few words of advice before she takes her seat. You should greet each of the Fangs before the feast begins, but listen well to their words. Few of them would benefit from making this a smooth transition. It will be important to know where they stand. Okay, I don't know, there's something about this view that feels very, how to put it, there's something about it, like it is the camera angle, there's something about it. Anyway. School's Skull Cleaver is the Fang of Jelling, which borders your area. Jelling is a large territory, and Skull is one of the most powerful Fangs in Jutland. Jelling has prospered under his rule. Skull pushes himself from the table with his foot, the chair making a grinding sound across the wooden floor. His face shows earnest sympathy. Don't mind my girl. So sorry about your father. If there is anything the people of Jelling can do to aid you in these trying times, don't hesitate to ask. It's very kind of you. Of course, we must stand together against the Frankish threat. Frankish. I think this is going to be a problem with... I say problem. It's an awkward situation because they're referencing real-world historical events, which is a good thing. You know, Expedition Conquistador did that to an extent. And yeah, I totally recommend reading the interview because he kind of delves into the interesting historical outlook and presentation. But they're dropping stuff like the Frankish threat, and I admit I'm not knowledgeable on history, and especially not on Scandinavian history, so Frankish, I'm thinking Christians, but tell me, what are your plans for this place? How will you lead your clan? A folk moot? I don't know what that is. That's a shame. We need a new ship. Of course you wouldn't want to rain on your clan's duties the king, Singer. Just take care not to give in to the calling of the sea like your father did. Let's out deep sigh and leans back in the sea. I'm sure you know I fought with your father many years ago. We were very much of a similar inclination, he and I. That man has a real taste of battle, not like his brothers. Mark my words, Dom Hida. True bonds are forged in battle, not bound in blood. He came to me for advice before he mounted his last journey, on account of my ties to Campan. I should have warned him better about what he was getting himself into. What does Campan have to do with it? Vikings out of Campan have been to the Isles across the sea. I've heard many stories about it, since I often go there to trade. Your father wanted to hear if the stories were true. But I've taken enough of your time. I know you have other guests to entertain. Perhaps we'll talk later after a bit more mead. As I said, right now, my big problem about this game is it's assuming I'm versed enough in Scandinavian history, and the sad truth is, I'm not. But, I don't know. I think it might have been in the part of Logic Artist's intentions to kind of treat the player as though they're knowledgeable. Don't drown them in knowledge, but treat them as though they have a cursory knowledge, because with words like Thing and things like that, it might lead the audience to kind of explore more information about what they're referring to, and therefore get more interested into Scandinavian history. Let's speak with him. Haldivar is the Thane of a slightly larger clan that borders your land's knees. He wears a solemn expression, nods heavily when you approach him. Durin is in Valhalla now, Domnida. There is no doubt about it. He died doing what he loved. But while he feasts amongst the heroes you're left back here to sort out the pieces, you've got your work cut out for you. I don't know, I always, every time I hear you've got your work cut out for you, I always see that as kind of a positive kind of, your work is already kind of aided, but I always understand it as meant to be something negative. You speak ill! Your father excelled at what he loved, fighting. He cared not one bit for this village, and I'm sure he wouldn't take offense for me pointing that out. His disregard made him many enemies among his clansmen. It's kind of odd they don't have a profile image, but I think this game's kind of getting released about early to mid 2017, so I might be wrong. I really might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Oh god, don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure that I heard a 2017 release date. So I am the rightful Thane. If anyone thinks otherwise, we'll sort out the traditional way. No one in this clan is more suited to lead. Yeah, I will sort it out the traditional way. Worse problems than this have been solved at the tip of a spear or the edge of a blade. May the gods favor you if it comes to that. Haldivar empties his mug of mead in a single gulp, then slams the mug onto the table and calls to a thrall for a refill. I mean, one interesting thing about this game, I will definitely be trying to pay attention to, is representation of men and women in historical bases. I don't know about Scandinavian history, I really don't. I will be kind of treating Expedition Viking as a kind of like crash course in the history. Unless if something kind of really jars me where it's just like, really? You know, I'll definitely look it up. But Rag here, the White, is the most influential of your guests. As the vassal of King... No, I'm not going to pronounce that. I'm sorry. She is the current ruler of Denmark. She has come from the trade hub of Ribe to the south, where she presides as Jarl. She nods politely as you approach her seat. It was a beautiful ceremony in Dumpida. I extend my condolences for your loss on behalf of Rib and the king. I must tell you, I advised him not to seek out the isles across the sea. We've all heard the stories of the unprotected coast and their treasures, but there is more danger than the rumors let on. I am not surprised they claim his life, but I am glad at least he died with a sword in his hand. Did you know him well? Knew him as a warrior. We fought along together on the Bravilia, and he struck me as a shrewd tactician. When your king needs you, I hope you will serve him as well as your father did. My warriors and I fight for whoever can offer the best reward. I see, yeah, that's a quick way to kind of just have the king be like, well, you're obviously no use for me. Yeah, can we just get every other clan to just kill your clan? Like, those two sound like the hard mode kind of activation. My father told me of thinking you about combat. That is another mark in the man's favour. I never saw a reason why women shouldn't be taught to fight just like any man. A village where the women folk know how to hold a sword is a village with twice as many warriors after all. I was hoping the king would attend. She barely manages to stop herself from rolling her eyes well enough that you can't quite take offense. I'm afraid King Sejong is preoccupied. He must ensure the full support of his thanes against any future Frankish incursions. I'm sure you understand. Ah, yeah, that Frank. Yeah, I had a feeling it was the Christian sect, but I wasn't entirely sure. Yeah, it's just if they've mentioned Charlemagne, so if Charlemagne attacks, we will be the first line of defense. The king has our best interests in mind. If you excuse me, I must do the rounds. The old shield maiden smiles. She gracefully slips down in her seat, whereupon she spears a large piece of chicken with her knife and dumps it on her plate. Yeah, I know it would have been bizarre, the idea of a king kind of attending, but Lee Sherwood's clan has moved between your side of the family and his for generations. He's known as a skilled warrior. It looks like when you approach his end of the table, neither of his friends acknowledge your presence. His tone is respectful, but slightly cold. Our condolences on the passing of your father. At least he died the way he would have wanted. He will be feasting with the gods tonight. There's no need for pretense. You never respected my father. I will not ask that you begin now. Considers this before replying. It's no secret I didn't agree with how Durin rubbled our clan. Bearing this in mind, I don't see what gives you the right to succeed him, but this feast is in his honour, and I will not salt his memory here, nor will I challenge your claim to leadership. You believe you would be more suited to lead us? I do. Because I am a woman. Why not? Let's do this. He hesitates. Let's be honest, a woman has led this clan for some time now. Your mother's made all the real decisions while your father sated his bloodlust abroad. Now you're in charge because your brother is too meek to lead us. Won't hesitate to swear fealty to a woman who has earned her position as Thane, but when that position was granted to you simply because of the failures of the men who were meant to hold it, then it's my time for a change. Okay, like, I love that kind of sentence because it tells me more about the Scandinavian approaches to gender and like the Scandinavian historical approach to gender, and I do have an interest. I'm not gonna lie, like, I find that subject interesting and representation of that subject interesting. It's like Mountain Blade Warband. I've always loved because women are treated more harshly than men in the social circles. Mechanically, they operate very much the same, and you know, Logic Artists kind of talked about that when I interviewed him, but the social settings might, doors may be opened or closed depending on your character's gender, and I think that's kind of very interesting to kind of witness. Anyway, if you challenge my birthright, you will pay with your life. We shall see. I should be jumping into combat. I'm really sorry about this. I might do a second part where I show what the combat's like, but I'm loving this dialogue. Keto is standing off with a feast. With a faintly amused expression, he nods respectfully when you come in the air. Busy entertaining your guests. Not too busy to check up on you. It's had an uneasy feeling all night. Have you seen Skull's Hoss? Over there in the corner. I've heard stories about him. Seems to be expecting trouble too, so I've decided to go easy on the meat and keep an eye on. I appreciate that. It never hurts to be careful. He throws his head back, slightly towards us there. Speaking of which, keep an eye on the big lug there. He and his friends have been putting their heads together all night. I think he might be planning something. I'll keep an eye on him. Leave the watch to me. This is your feast. You should relax and enjoy yourself. I think this is kind of leading into a combat scenario, so I'm going to let this run a bit longer. The older brother of Rorik has perchance for music. He looks like he gives you a warm smile. Good evening, sis. I mean, my honored Thane. How do you feel? Rorik places a hand gingerly on your shoulder. You can barely hear his soft voice over the din of the feast. Father was a warrior. There is no doubt he's feasting with Odin now. I'm sorry I couldn't be the older brother I was expected to be. You don't deserve to have to deal with this mess on yourself. How has everyone been treating you? There's been some snide remarks, but mother has always been more of a thing than her father ever was, so in a way this changes nothing. To tell you the truth, I think our clansmen are almost relieved that as I am, that you took on the mantle. I have to go and be a good host. Just use the old signal if you need help to get out of the conversation with one of the other Thanes. Yep. Talk to the last person, and then I'll go sit down. If there is one of your oldest friends, your family have always been close and you grew up together in the village. She just finished pouring your mother a mug of meat. There you are, the feast seems off to a good start. It's nice to see you out of your armor for once. You've seen my sister in this dress before, surely that's the same thing. Closes her eyes and rubs the bridge of her nose with her finger. God, she was so excited to see me like this. I'll never hear the end of it. Where is she? Sardonic undertone creeps into the Nephture's voice. My poor sister has a fever again. She has such a frail constitution. All this wet cold is hard on her. Mother stayed home to care for her. What do you think of our guest? Your fellow Thanes are certainly a proud and graceful bunch, even as they plot to murder you and take our lands. That's kind of the sense I'm getting. Like, if I was rude to the Shield Maiden, basically said, you know what, the king can just go play in traffic, I think I would have got my throat sliced that night. I'm sure not all of them are actively planning to kill us. I have a weird feeling about Skull though. I doubt they call him Skull Cleaver for no reason. Hadvir plays the lovable old grunt, but I know he's had his eyes on our harbour for years. Ragnhilda, I'm not sure about. She probably has nothing to gain from destroying us, but she's little more than Sigurður's appendage, and who knows where he stands. Let's talk later. Be a good host. And now let's go sit down. Following the initial meet and greet, everyone toasts to your father and digs into the meal. Food covers every inch of the table, and the freshly brewed mead seems to flow endlessly. Following the initial meet... Alright, that's interesting. I could have done with that event, not kind of skipping over that one. Oh wait, no. Ugh. Sorry, I lost track what was happening because of the event that just triggered. You're listening to Nevja's usual complaints about her mother when Cattell perks up and slips discreetly out the longhouse. Outside, some piece of pottery clashes against the ground. Men begin to shout. In short order, the door flies open and a doorway is filled by Otter Ellerson, sword in hand. Outside, you see his brother standing over the prone form of Cattell. Otar looks around the room with disgust. What a splendid feast for such a shit fane! God, Otar's gaze stops you. He raises his sword to a point accusingly. Dom here, your family had its chance to earn our respect. You wasted it. Come outside and defend your honor, or we will burn this hall to the ground. Nevja jumps to her feet, already holding a knife, her voice seething with disgust. Otar, you miserable drunkard, how dare you attack your Fane's honor during her own feast? Your family will pay for this. Otar has turned his back on you and is already walking outside. All the other guests turn their gaze to you in anticipation. Your mother leans in to whisper in your ear, you have to handle this. If the other Fane were too weak to deal with such a blow against our family's honor, this will not stand! Nevja, are you with me? A shadow sets across Nevja's face. By the gods, he's going to make us kill him this time, isn't he? Oh yeah, we're gonna go kill this goddamn disrespectful man-child. Interesting they actually give me the right equipment, like they don't just say, pick the equipment you wish. And then... Yep. Remember to equip your weapons before you leave the longhouse. Open your inventory and drag the sword and shield. Okay, that's... that should probably be fixed, because I didn't get a sword and shield. I got 2 daggers, because I'm basically going to double shank him in the face. Losing a fight in Viking doesn't mean the game is over. You'll typically retreat back to your last campsite to recover. I mean, that's kind of cool. Like, although I don't know if they're going to go for Mountain Blade rules where you lose and you can recover, or if they're going to go for I'm trying to think of a good comparison. The basically type of rules where XCOM rules where you lose a battle, that's okay, but you're now playing catch up. Most of the guests follow you outside and form a half circle behind you. You're dimly aware of the other things muttering among themselves. Nevja runs over to Cattell to help him back on his feet. A streak of blood runs from his hair down to his cheek, but it looks like he can still fight. 4 against 1. This is what the sons of Erling Forrest considers a fair fight. Otar's brother Top sneers. He's drunk. Shut your mouth, woman. He started it. Go home, you fools. I know our family has never been on good terms, but if we spill each other's blood tonight, the killing will never stop. Does your... Yeah, I'm not going to go diplomatically. I'm just going to make fun of him. Does your father know you're here, destroying his name? He does not, but he'll be proud of us when Asfir is finally our fame instead of you. Asfir steps forward and draws his weapon. You've gone too far, Otar. There is no honor in this. Must take Domhilda's side here. For a moment, confusion mixes with fright in Otar's eye, but he quickly composes himself. Fine, we will kill you all, then I'll be Fane. I mean, it's kind of a shame they don't have a portrait of this dimwit, but... Right, so... yes, turn-based. So looks like it's going to be very much like Conquistador, where it's like hex based and you can't run through areas. So I can just attack, stun, tactical move. Halves the user's move, but allows them to move through traps and attacks opportunity without triggering them. Oh. Yeah, I messed that up. Quick, shoot him twice. Nope. And second one. Ah, at least that hit. Don't mind the gunshots. Yeah, so she's going to go stab. Problem is I'm trying to do it so. There. Alright, cool. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure that I... Yep, flanked. Now I'm gonna start stabbing him hard in the back. You goddamn man-child. Oh, that's interesting. So you can just decide non-lethally end them. Although, honestly, in this... I'd be interesting to see about what would happen if you kind of try to keep people alive. Oh, god damn it. There you go. Put him in the floor. I'll go more accurate. Now, end him. Hey, you better run. God damn, I will. Oh Christ, she's. That's not good. I think she might die soon. She can restore though. Provokes an attack opportunity. God damn it. Alright, never mind. Okay, that needs to be fixed. Like, I'm pressing 2 and it's not picking option 2, which is a shame. Come on, put him in the floor. No. Flurry. Yeah, I've got to kill him now, otherwise I'm gonna be in trouble. Alright, let's hope he doesn't target her. He targeted her. God damn it. Right. I mean, this kind of works in my favor in a weird way, because I'll just... And then, time to put him in the... Oh, I gotta move. What does that icon mean? And now to kill him. Bye bye. Yeah, so that's what combat's like. I got a moderate puncture. Oh, that's what it means, existing wounds. Although it doesn't tell me what that does, or what moderate puncture means. I do remember hearing about how they, if you, it's not that you die in combat, it's like you more sustain injuries that you now have to recover over time, and they kind of hamper you a bit. Otar Erlandson groans as he tries to sit up on the frozen earth. Kita walks over to the soundly defeated farmer and kicks his weapon away. Otar's surviving brothers are slowly getting to their feet as well. None of them has any fight left in them. Nefjo regards the survivors with a mixture of disdain and sadness. What do we do with them? Yeah, execute them, because they're going to. It's what happens. The grim work does not take long. Your guests look on solemnly as the snow in front of your feast hall turns red with the blood of the farmers. If any of them doubted your resolve now they see what you're made of. Oh my god, that's pretty cool. After steps forward, he looks not the least bit tired from the fight. I supported you here tonight because Otar and his brothers were out of line. It is not the way of our clan to kill each other in drunken brawls. Domhida, daughter of Durin, I challenge you to a duel for the position of Thane. An excited murmur arises among the guests. Kittel mutters in a voice too low for anyone else other than you and Nefja to hear. Can you believe this son of a bitch? It's his right to issue such a challenge. His timing could be better though. Why'd you challenge me? The seat of the Thane should never be passed from daughter to father like a sword or a horse. If our clan is to endure, we must ensure that we are ruled by the strongest and most wise among us. I will accept your challenge. We will meet on Homgang Island at dawn on the morrow. May the gods favor you. Yeah, I think that's a good place to call it, you know. I might replay it from beginning, I might not. I don't know how I'm going to do this. But so far, I'm really impressed. You know, I think I would definitely have to see how the clan management system goes, because that's going to be a large chunk of, I think, how Expedition Vikings ends up as. It definitely feels very kind of like, one of the things I really love about this game is it's so engrossed in its own history. It doesn't feel like Viking Battle of Asgard, I think it was called, where it didn't so much feel like a Viking game, it felt like a... Sorry, it didn't so much feel like a Scandinavian historical game, but rather a Viking game in the pop culture sense. And, you know, I think Scandinavian history is kind of interesting. I still find the story of Baldir kind of, like, amusing in, like, how it kind of characterizes the kind of lore and values that those of that time kind of believed in, like this, like especially the whole kicking the dwarf or gnome into a fight. Just like, apparently it was just an offhand thing, but anyway. So getting away from that. Yeah, so it's going to really depend on how clan management is. I think the combat could be more smoothed out. I would definitely have to see how leveling is, how the skill system is, but right now I'm very much on the fence. I feel like I haven't seen it fully develop. I noticed that if you press the number keys, it doesn't activate the abilities right now. Besides that, I haven't noticed any glitches, and that's kind of interesting because you get these games which are released with like just so many glitches, you're just marveling at it, and yet this is a game that is so far from release that I'm trying to preview build, but the preview build isn't even open to the public. It's just open to the press. You know, it's... And yet, I'm not coming across any bugs. You know, the closest is there are abilities currently locked off. I would be interested to see how the play styles are balanced as well, to see if there is worth in playing as more of a scoundrel character, someone who's going to just slink around and stab people in the back. But I don't think there's not... I think the problem is I think my character is going to be kind of too tied into a leadership role to be able to kind of play someone who's more like slinks around in the shadows doing very crude things. Overall, right now, so far, I'm excited. You know, I think this is going to be really interesting. I'm totally game for this kind of game. And I'm really happy that I managed to get a code to show this game off. You know, I really want people to notice this game. If you can, I would probably say put this on your wish list. Maybe even look into Expedition Conquistador. This game's definitely progressed from that level. You know, Conquistador's an interesting game, and I had some problems with it, but interesting. But it's definitely progressed from there. This game feels a bit rough around the edges. I think the environments... There's something about that camera angle. There's something about that camera angle that's bugging me a bit. I don't know what it is. It's that camera angle. Yeah, But if you're really interested in checking out a game, like a tactical RPG based in Norse, Scandinavian history, I'm trying not to use the word Viking. It is like the Viking Age, but I admit, when I hear Viking, I tend to get these horrible images of horned helmets. But yeah. If you have any, like, I'm rambling now. If you have any passing interest of this historical things and you're into turn-based games, it's definitely worth a glance. I recommend checking it out. Anyway, sorry this is a bit of a long video, but I wanted to get past the intro. I wanted to show character creation, I wanted to show how the dialogue system goes, and I wanted to show the combat, because I think that this is the type of game that I really want to show from beginning to end. In below you can follow me on Twitter. You can also read the full written preview article. If it's not out when this video is released, it'll just have coming soon, but check it later, it'll be on there, or just follow me on Twitter, because I'll be posting on my Twitter account. Anyway, thank you for watching. As I said, fantastic game. I'm really curious to see more. Anyway, bye.